All right, good evening. Welcome to Beef Brady's here in Stark, another episode of the North Florida Sports Talk Network, the College Football Gridiron Report. Marty Pallman, Corey Davis with you here tonight. Another big week in college football last week. We just had our high school report for you as well. And we'll be here tonight till 10 o'clock to talk a little bit about last week. Boy, interesting week. Lots of interesting, really great games last week, Corey, in college football. And should have another big week this weekend.
Oh yeah, especially in our pick 'em. I picked 16 games this week, just because there's so many good games. Week one we had some impressive games. Week two,
Not so
it
much.
was okay. Last week
Well,
was
that's
a
pretty good.
big week, and this is another big week.
Yeah, yeah. We had a lot of big games, but you're right. This week is another big weekend as well. And of course, the Gators, we'll talk about their issues, losing to LSU, now heading to Miami. I was trying to get Kevin Brockway, the Gainesville Sun, on. He has another interview tonight. He's on at this time. So we will get him next week here on the show. And we'll have a lot to ask him about the situation, especially if they lose to Miami this weekend. The Billy Napier situation, which is not any better. I mean, the LSU game obviously made things a little bit worse for the Gators, and we'll talk about them during the show. Start with some breaking news, though. And again, we talk about coaching news already. 3 weeks into the season, two big-time schools made coaching changes. Deshaun Foster is out at UCLA, only his second season. They started 0-3. They lost to New Mexico at home, and they were outscored 108-43 in 3 games under Foster. UCLA just having a rough season, and they already make a change.
Yeah, that one really didn't surprise me because UCLA have been struggling, and with USC being undefeated, UCLA winless, that one didn't surprise me at all because you don't want to be the redheaded stepchild of USC.
Right. So but the other job that's now open is at Virginia Tech. This one didn't surprise me really because they really haven't been good at all under Brent Pry, and they were leading Vanderbilt early in that game week 2. Got blown out at home, and then they lose at home to Old Dominion. So Virginia Tech makes a change there, and this is kind of a story where really ever since Frank Beamer retired, they've been able to find a coach that have not been a consistent winning program like they were under Frank Beamer.
Yeah, I remember when it was all about bring your lunch pail to work kind of mentality with Virginia Tech. They were a bunch of nobodies, and yet they played really hard and they were successful and
Yeah,
went to bowl games. And in fact, one year I think they even played for a national championship. They lost to Florida State
it's Florida State. Michael Vick. Yeah,
in 1999. So
yep.
they've had tremendous success, but have obviously fallen on hard times right now. Have obviously
Yeah, they've been in
fallen on hard times right now.
Yeah, they've been in a lot of New Year's Day games as well. We're having some internet issues, so stand by as we get that during this show. But another we're coaching down, I guess
Gator
today.
tailback, University of Florida tailback coach Jabbar Jalouk, I think that's how you say it, is suspended 3 games by Florida and SEC for pre-game scuffle at LSU after he inappropriately interacted with an LSU player. I was told he slapped an LSU player. That's really what they found on video. Apparently, my understanding of the situation is the SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey saw the tape, went to Scott Strickland and Billy Napier at the University of Florida and said, okay, you've got to suspend this guy. And they obviously agreed. So
They actually went after Napier too, but Napier's like, no, I was not on the sideline.
yeah, he wasn't. And that was before the game against LSU. They actually were trying to say Napier was there. Yeah, they were trying to say that.
Yeah.
That as well. But so yeah, that's another story coming out of Gainesville. Just more great news, really, from the University of Florida after the LSU game. Just can't get much right there right now. All right, I don't know what's going on here.
Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about was, the last couple of years, the Big Ten has been ruling the country with Michigan winning the national championship, Ohio State winning it last year. Number 1 and number 2 teams, Ohio State and Penn State, have been rolling their opponents. I'll give Ohio State credit because at least they've opened up with Texas.
Yeah.
Penn State 3-0 have yet to play anybody. I mean, cupcake. Whether it's vanilla or red velvet, they're playing nothing but cupcakes. Now, they will finally get a test next week when they play, I think, at Oregon. I know they play Oregon. I'm not sure if it's home or away, but I'm pretty sure it's away. So the Nittany Lions will at least get a test, and finally we'll find out if they're for real because I picked Penn State to win the national championship, and I think you picked them to do well too. Um, so we'll see if Penn State's for real when they finally play a real team. Also, um, TCU and SMU play this week in the Iron Skillet rivalry. I love this rivalry game because it's literally a big frying pan that has been bronze, and the winner gets it. It started in 1918. They played 103 times. TCU leads the all-time series 53-43 and 7. And yet, for some reason, TCU has made the decision, at least for this week, to not continue the rivalry.
Not connected. So. I already did this like 3 times. It just shut off again. I shouldn't have to keep doing this, but okay. I'm starting to think this restream doesn't work. No, the restream is working because it's working record. It is? He can't see me. Yeah, but he's live with good sounds. He's live? Well, then why is it?
Yeah, it says I'm live.
Go ahead.
Also, the NCAA passed. This happened today, actually, right before we got here. Have a one-time transfer portal. They voted to eliminate the spring portal window, and rumor has it, they're still trying to figure out when they're going to have this one-time portal. But rumor has it they're going to do it in January because they're tired of teams and coaches losing players during the season, especially when it's bowl season or the last couple of games of the regular season. So I think it makes a lot of sense to have this because, we've seen it in bowl games where players opt out either to go pro or transfer to another school, and team gets drilled. It happened to Florida a couple years ago when they played, was it Oklahoma, I think, and one of the bowl games. Welcome back, Marty.
Am I back?
You're back.
See me? Okay. I can't see. I don't know what's going on this week. I guess we're talking. Right now, I can't see anything on the screen. But as you said, the Iron Skillet. Oh, that's a great name. As well, that whole portal thing.
We've seen it in bowl games where players opt out
now, and we'll see. I guess now only having one in the spring. You said, is that right?
No, they got rid of the one in the spring. Now they're talking about possibly. It's just a rumor right now until they figure out when, but the likely candidate is going to be in January when basically bowl season's over with.
Okay. Well, my apologies. I can't see anything. So.
And now you're gone.
Huh?
And now you're gone. And now you're back. With a puzzled look, he's like, "What the heck's going on over here?"
All right. So that's the breaking news this week. Let's move along to a look at last week's games. We started on Thursday night. NC State, they were down early in this game and came back. Wakefield 24-17 at the half. NC State, they shut them out in the second half and pulled away to win 34-24. I didn't realize the second longest continuous played rivalry in the country, only behind Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until they mentioned it during the game, and I was like, wow. Who would have thought that was the second most played continuous rivalry in the country, especially only 1 year behind Minnesota and Wisconsin. I love that rivalry with the battle axe between the Big Ten teams. I had no clue that an ACC rivalry like that, especially that rivalry, was that old.
Kick return of 98 yards from Chris Barnes. As I said, that was Wake's first loss of the year. NC State is unbeaten at 4-0. They lead the all-time series 70-43-6. Played every year since 1910, so that's interesting as well. But NC State gets that win on the road against Wake Forest. Friday night, it's Colorado 0-3. No, I think they got a win. I think they're 1-2. But I don't know if they played in between Georgia Tech and Houston, but they Houston pulls away in the second half to stay unbeaten at 3-0. This was not a conference game. Oh, it was a conference game.
Yeah, Big 12.
Yeah, Houston wins that 36-20, outscoring them 20-6 in the second half. I think Colorado's 1-2 now, but I'll have to look that up as well. So Dion's team not off to a great start in 2025. They're losing all the talent he did. Arizona, boy, what a start for Kansas State. They are 1-3. That's hard to believe. Arizona stays unbeaten. A late interception to win 23-17 over Kansas State. They're 3-0. So K-State, hard to believe. They were like a top 10 team almost in the preseason.
Oh, yeah. Remember the hype between them and Iowa State with the game in Ireland to open up the season, and now Kansas State is now 1-3 and in serious trouble of out of probably Big 12 contention and maybe not even go to a bowl this year.
They lost the Army as well. New Mexico, we talked about this game. It's 14-7 at the half. New Mexico, 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. Yikes, they're 2-1. They win in the Rose Bowl against UCLA 35-10, and that drops UCLA to 0-3, and that's the end for Deshaun Foster as the coach at UCLA. That game was last Friday night. Not so much for the Indiana Hoosiers, but again, they continued to play really nobody. Indiana State, they beat 73-0. It says Pallman will play again. Hoosiers 3-0 roll easily, and they now they get a battle this week with Illinois. It's going to be a big test for them against the top 10 alliance.
Might be the biggest game of the whole week, actually, because that's the Big Ten.
They're both ranked, yeah. The Big Ten. When you're not looking at teams outside of Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, those teams, these two are right up there. And then Syracuse, a bounce back win after their loss to Tennessee. They defeated Toothpaste, Colgate, 66-24. Colgate, by the way, is like literally, I think, 10 miles from Syracuse. It's like they're really close. So Colgate's 0-3. That's why they play that game more than anything. And that was on Friday night. All right, let's move to Saturday. Saturday, this was a game that I don't know if it's connected now.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. It's been that way for a while.
Okay. Yeah, bring up a break. I gotta figure this out.
We got no audio, no nothing. Other than me. It says we're live, but
You're live. I'm not.
yeah.
So I don't know what's going on. Now it says that. It says he's gonna bring up a break. So I told him to do that. Roy, keep talking. You're live.
Well, there's no point if we're not talking together because I'm not going to talk to myself for the next half hour.
Why is this?
Oh, I hear you now.
I was gripping on it from the 5th of May. In a 4-day took on a humid day. In a time, seeing what we get, we have much drinking coffee.
That means I'm not saying anything now.
I see you. I hear you.
too. All right. Well. All right, we're back. So anyway,
All right, we're having lots of issues here tonight. We're RB for Brady's and Start. Apologies here as you're watching on our Florida Sports Talk Network, the College Football Gridiron Report. Marty, Pallman, Corey Davis with you. All right, let's move on to Saturday. We had a lot of big games on Saturday as it started with a game at noon, and we talked about this game last week at length. And boy, what a game this turned out to be. Back and forth. Georgia Tech led early, and Clemson came back after being down 13-0, took the lead 14-13. Georgia Tech went up 21-14. Clemson tied it with about 5 minutes to go, and then Tech went on a drive, and he used those timeouts a little early, so they had to run the old fire drill play. But boy, that kicker for them, 55-yard field goal to win it. How about that? I mean, they got plenty of time, lined it up, played it perfectly, and what a win for Georgia Tech. They took the goalpost down there at Grant Field, Bobby Dodd Stadium on Saturday.
Yeah, that'll cost them $50,000 for that.
Okay, they'll pay it.
Yeah, they'll pay it.
Gladly pay that. Apparently, yeah, the ACC did fine them, but Georgia Tech, big win for them, 3-0 now. They are now ranked. They moved in the rankings at number 18, 1-0 in the ACC. Clemson now 1-2 after the loss to LSU week 1, and now you've got Dabo Swinney telling Clemson fans, if you want to get rid of me, go ahead. If you want, you're tired of winning, go ahead. And he's right. They're being a little jumping the gun a little bit there at Clemson.
Well, they're not used to losing, so they're used to being 4-0 at this point, or 3-0 at this point.
Yeah, they had beaten Georgia Tech, I think, 8 times in a row. It had been a while, but Georgia Tech, Brent Key's doing a really good job there, and they get Temple this week, so they'll be 4-0. And then to see if they get a little bit into the schedule. Meanwhile, yeah, that's what Philip's saying. I wonder if Dabo's NIL comments are catching up with him. Maybe a little bit. He does not like the NIL himself. He's always said that. So at some point that may end up.
Isn't Clemson, besides Army, Navy, and Air Force, the only school that does not get transfers? I think I heard that at some point last year.
They just refuse to take transfers. Basically, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's part of football now. I mean, if you're not going to do that, then you're probably not going to win. But for Clemson, I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to win. They won the ACC last year. But this was a heck of a game. Georgia Tech gets the win. I see they, like I said, they carried the goalposts out, got them stuck underneath the stadium. So kind of a fun thing there for the old engineers of the Rambler Record Georgia Tech on Saturday for that win. And Miami, well, we talked about this too. South Florida coming off the win here in Gainesville. They head down to Miami and they get blown out. Miami's good. Don't get me wrong. 3-0. I think the Gators are going to find that out this weekend. And Miami all over South Florida, 49-12. Hurricanes are 3-0. The Bulls 2-1. So big win for them. This was the game of the week here. Actually, there were two of them. This was one. The next two we have. Tennessee led 21-7 in this game. Georgia battled back, took the lead. Tennessee came back, took the lead. Georgia tied it. Really a great throw on fourth down by Gunnar Stockton. And it's corner side of the end zone. They got the 2-point conversion to tie it then. Tennessee has a field goal to win it. I feel bad for that kid Gilbert. It
was a chip shot. It was like
43 yards. That's not.
Was that 40 yards? Okay.
243. Which is funny because he had a similar one in overtime and he nailed it. But I was watching this game, and I even made the prediction when he missed it. The overtime, I said, Tennessee's going to kick a field goal. Georgia's going to score a touchdown. And sure enough, that's what happened. Georgia, in 2 plays, got in the end zone in OT. So the Dogs beat Tennessee for the 9th straight time. They're 3-0 and 1-0 in conference play. It was a great game, though, in Knoxville between these two.
Oh, it definitely was. I watched pretty much the whole game, and
yeah,
it was definitely entertaining, especially if you like offense.
Yeah, that's true. And Aguilar, the quarterback for Tennessee, threw, I think, 3 touchdowns to the receiver, Brazil, who kept going up for long, like going up in the air, taking it away from Georgia's secondary and getting long scores. But, yeah, it was a fun game to watch there. Georgia gets the win in Knoxville. This was a fun game as well. I didn't get to see this as much because I was watching Florida LSU, but Texas A&M, they get a 4th down touchdown in the last 30 seconds to win at Notre Dame 41-40. So the Aggies are 3-0. Notre Dame's now 0-2.
Once I figured out what channel it was on, I was able to watch pretty much the entire fourth quarter because this game was well past the Florida LSU game.
Yeah.
And, man, what an exciting finish. Notre Dame scores. They bobbled the extra point on the snap and the hold. Texas A&M goes right down the field, scores. And then on 4th down, scramble around and find their open receiver. in the left corner of the end zone, and of course makes the extra point, and that's the difference in the game. And what a win for the Aggies, who fell last year at home to Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Yeah. And now Notre Dame at 0-2, they if they're going to make the playoff, they're going to have to probably win the rest of their games because not having
not only win out, but they've got to murder teams. I mean, they got to win about 40 or 50 points to get the committee's attention.
Well, I don't know about that because they lost to Miami
because
on
they're
the
not in
last
a conference, so you can't.
Well, that's true. But I mean,
they
they lost to A&M by 1 point on fourth down. They lost to Miami by 3. I mean, they haven't been blown out. I mean, you're right. They have to win because they don't have a conference championship.
But they don't. But after these 2 games, they don't have another game that's like huge that can maybe put them over the top.
Yeah.
To catch a team,
with the possible exception of USC. We don't know how good they are, but yeah, you're right.
Well, they're undefeated right now.
Yeah. But yeah, Notre Dame 0-2 to start. I tell you, is Vanderbilt for real? I mean, that was impressive. I know South Carolina lost to Norris Sellers, but Vanderbilt goes into Columbia.
Did he get hurt in this game or was the game before?
No, he got hurt in this game.
Okay.
Yeah. And he didn't play, I think, the whole second half. Vanderbilt pulled away to win 31-7. That's a road win in Columbia. So they're 3-0 and 1-0 in the SEC. South Carolina falls to 2-1 and 0-1. Just to put up me an impressive win for the Commodores. They're a different program under Clark Lee. They really are. So
yeah, I love Diego. He makes a huge difference on the offense, and the defense gets fired up watching them play. And what a statement win for Vandy. I mean, now they're nationally ranked for the first time in a while.
Yeah,
the Commodores are back.
Yeah, they're going to go to 4-0 this week. They host Georgia State, so they'll win that game as well. But yeah, that was quite a win for them at South Carolina. Well, this was the game Saturday night. This was going on during Notre Dame Texas A&M, which was a much Texas A&M Notre Dame was much more entertaining than this game. What was it? What's that look?
What
was that look you're giving?
Oh, not 1, not 2, not 3,
not
4,
That's
but
LeBron.
5.
That's LeBron. Not 6, not 7. Yeah. Yes, 5 interceptions from DJ Lagway. And I was following this game. I was at a Braves game. I saw the second half. I saw the last 2 interceptions. They were awful.
3 of them were directly right to the defensive player.
And then the last one he threw, he rolled left and then put it back across the other side of the field. There were 3 LSU players there, and one of them caught it. He tried one down the middle of the field into triple coverage and got intercepted. I mean, I
think the last one was the one where
I was the one
was trying to throw out of bounds.
Yeah, but he rolled left and
the guy literally made like a crazy play and caught it.
Well, I mean, but it was in bounds. It wasn't close, but you're right. But the one before that, he threw into triple coverage in the end zone. I mean, I honestly, and there's all kinds of blame you could give. You could say it's the play calling. Florida didn't try to run the ball. They had a 87-yard touchdown called back on the throw to Jaden Ball. They've had 3 touchdowns called back in 2 weeks, and they've had close games. Florida, you say Florida's not far off. Sometimes people say that, but they don't look like their defense is playing well. Their offense is just not. And DJ Lagway looks lost. He just looks lost. Well, it's amazing. Him and Arch Manning have both forgotten how to play quarterback, I think.
The saying bad teams find a way to lose games is so true for the Gators right now because they will find, touchdowns called back, critical penalties in that South Florida game led to the Bulls getting the winning field goal. This game you have a touchdown called back. You throw 5 picks. I mean, they're just finding ways to any way possible to give up a game.
Somebody's putting a picture up here, as you see. This is kind of a strange look here. Napier and
boy, if you throw one more pick, you're off this team.
So they were saying too.
That's what the pick looks like.
It does. So that's I guess Phillips doing that. Thank you. But yeah, you could tell. And Napier didn't think about sitting him. I mean, Tramel Jones. Honestly, I know the guy hasn't played. He's a freshman out of Jacksonville. But could it have been any worse putting him in this game? I mean, I don't know. We might see that.
But here's the thing, though. As many picks as he threw, they only lost by 10.
That's what I mean.
They were in this game in the fourth quarter.
LSU didn't do anything offensively. They had like 200 yards of offense. Brian Kelly, after the game, is yelling at the reporters covering LSU because they asked him about the offense, but it's a legitimate question. Their offense didn't do anything. They
had one apologized, by the way, today.
He did apologize. But, I mean, Brian Kelly does that. but it's a legitimate question. You supposedly have a Heisman candidate, Garrett Nussmeier, who's not really doing much. I mean, even against Clemson, the defense won that game 17-10 basically. So I don't know. LSU, and I agree, they're not the number 3 team in the country. They're 3-0, but that is not a top 5 team, I don't think. So, but Florida's not a very good team, and I think they're going to have. Now I hear everybody saying they're going to play with Miami. I think they're going to get blown out of Miami.
Well, save that for
yeah,
down the road.
I know, but but that story, of course, it won't go away for Billy Napier as long as he's the coach. And he's again. I'm not giving up the play calling. It's who knows. You're right. They're going to end up having to make a change there. Oklahoma, after their win against Michigan, they go on the road and take care of Temple 42-3. They're 3-0. Temple 2-0.
I put that game on there because I heard some announcers saying, "Why would Oklahoma go to Temple?" And it's a valid point.
It is.
I mean, Temple should be going to Oklahoma, not the other way around. But Oklahoma, I mean, did what they're supposed to do. Actually, Temple's 2-1, so they're not really a bad team. But that's how you beat a team.
Yeah, I agree. That is how.
Just like the next team, Texas, beat UTEP 27-10. Ever since that Ohio State game, Texas has been struggling. Back-to-back games, they have not looked the same since that loss to Ohio State.
Right, you're right about that, and Texas. And speaking of that, as you said, over UTEP, Arch Manning again. I heard a stat today. He has the worst completion percentage of throws 10 or 5 or 10 or more yards. It's somewhere in the 30% range. What's going on with this guy? I mean, kind of like DJ Lagway, did he forget how to play quarterback? I mean, what's happened here? Or is it just we hyped the guy who had barely played last year? Because Lagway played more than this guy, than Arch Manning, and I don't know what's going on with him.
I mean, they should be blowing some of these teams out, and they're barely winning each week.
Yeah. And that being said, they only lost by a touchdown to Ohio State because their defense kept them in the game. But we'll see as the season goes on. Texas is going to have to figure it out. But all of a sudden, I look at this Texas-Florida game in a couple of weeks, like, how are they going to score? I mean, these teams can't. Both quarterbacks are lost. So that
3-0.
Well, who knew that before the season
Trey
started?
Smack with a walk-off field goal.
Everybody thought that it was going to be like this great matchup of quarterbacks, and now it's like, which one is going to be? I don't know. It's weird.
Which is why I find it funny because you were saying, "Oh, this will likely be a game day game." No, it won't.
It'll be a game day game. Is in
Jefferson Pilot noon special.
12:30 used to be at Lincoln Financial. Yeah, they had a no. The other one was game day is going to Miami this week, which I was a little surprised about, but I think it's just because it's Florida Miami. But yeah, they are going there this week. Yeah, they won't be coming for Texas, Florida. And but anyway.
What about the next game?
Yeah, that was a really good game. I didn't need to see this game, but I was following it. Ole Miss, and by the way, Ole Miss played a backup quarterback, I believe. Austin Simmons was injured.
Yeah.
So he put in a guy who was a transfer from a small school, did Lane Kiffin, and they were able to.
Ferris State.
Yeah, Ferris State. That's right.
Division 2 or 3.
Yeah,
power.
And that guy came in and scored 41 points against Arkansas. So Ole Miss is 3-0 and 2-0. Does that tell you, though, how Lane Kiffin can coach offense? I mean, you could plug in a quarterback, and he'll win an SEC game. And by the way, Scott Strickland, hire him. Come on. What are you doing? Bring this guy to Gainesville, please. As you say, they hang on against Bacon Bits, who are now 2-1, 0-1. Arkansas, they gave him a game in Oxford, but Ole Miss wins it 41-35. All right.
Alabama's back.
Yeah, not so much.
That was an impressive win, though.
Yeah, but
I mean, playing on a Big Ten team on
I don't
at
think
home.
this is a Wisconsin team that kind of like some of the
Wisconsin's 2-1.
Yeah, who they beat the first 2 weeks. I mean, right. But anyway, but we'll see. I mean, you never know. But it was a good win for Alabama at home, 38-14. Utah, they get a big win on the road at Wyoming, 31-6. They've got a big game coming up against, I think, Texas Tech. Yeah, that's the new game on Fox. Both teams are unbeaten on Saturday. So that'll be a good ball game. Speaking of Texas Tech, they pound Oregon State. Oregon State is 0-3, 45-14. They've been blown out in every game as Texas Tech goes to 3-0. And finally, the backyard brawl. This was a thriller, as always. And I feel good about taking West Virginia in this game. But the Mountaineers come back. They fall behind. They come back. They give up the lead. And they win it overtime 34-31. 14th oldest rivalry in the country. West Virginia 2-1. Pitt is now 2-1. Pitt leads the series 63-42-3, but they will not play again until 2029. They'll play until 4 years in a row. They're under 32. So,
And that's my biggest, pet peeve about this is, Pitt and Penn State used to play, and then they would take a long break, then they would come back. We need this game every year. We don't need to wait 4 years for this.
The crowds love it. It was a good game. The teams hate each other. Again, the chant that they eat Pitt thing that West Virginia does always makes me laugh. But so West Virginia, they needed that win after the loss to Ohio the week before. Other scores to note: Auburn stays unbeaten. They're ranked now, 31-15 over South Alabama. They're 3-0. They head to Oklahoma this week. That'll be one of the bigger games of the week. Missouri ranked as well. They go to 3-0, 52-10 over Louisiana. When is Missouri's schedule actually going to? Well, they did beat Kansas.
But they get South Carolina this week.
South Carolina, well, if they have the North Sellers, we'll see. If they don't, you never know. But that's true. Mississippi State, they're 3-0. Coming off that big win against Arizona State, they pound Alcorn State 63-0. Kind of an easier week for these teams. Kentucky bounces back from the loss to Ole Miss, beats Eastern Michigan 48-23. They're 2-1. Big Ten opener, USC goes to Purdue. This game was delayed, I think, 3 hours by weather. So it was a CBS game. They didn't play it.
CBS got to love that.
Yeah, it ended up being a primetime game, basically.
And they could have had Georgia, Tennessee.
No, I don't think they can because that's the SEC.
No, I'm saying they could have if they're not giving up the contest.
Well, they didn't give up the SEC. It's true. Yeah. That's a good point. But USC wins 33-17. They're 3-0. Purdue is 2-1. FAU gets their first win, 38-28 over FIU, the two South Florida teams.
Isn't that the Don Shula Bowl, I think?
They call it that?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Because he coached for both teams, I think.
Don Shula did?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Howard Schnell. No. Maybe it was Howard Schnellenberger?
Maybe it's Howard Schnellenberger.
Yeah. Don Shula only coached the Dolphins, but I don't know. Cal, how about the Golden Bears? 3-0. They hold off Minnesota 27-14. That was the late game Saturday night. Minnesota now 2-1. And Stanford, they get a win over BC 30-20. So the Cardinal are now 1-2. BC's 1-2 as well.
Yeah.
All right. So that's your look at last week's games. Here's the schedule for this week. And by the way, you are watching the College Football Gridiron Report here on the North Florida Sports Talk Network. Marty Pallman and Corey Davis live from Beef O'Brady's. We let you know a little bit about Beef O'Brady's before we move on. Weekly specials, actually nightly specials. Burger Mondays, $7.99. Ultimate Taco Tuesdays, 2 tacos for $7.99 with chips and salsa on Tuesday. Wing Wednesday, 99 cents each, traditional or bobo free boneless. Thursdays, $12.99 stakeout Thursday, ribeye steak sandwich, Philly plus cheesesteak fries. On Fridays, $11.49 fish and chips Fridays. Saturdays, $11.99 cheeseburger and wings Saturdays. And then Sundays, the $1.99 kids combo meals with a side, a drink, and a treat. And also, you can check out the triple meal deals now here at Beef O'Brady's.
Which I'm going to be checking out in a good pitch.
Yeah, we did it last week too. And it's very similar to what Chili's does, like a starter, you get an appetizer, a meal, and a drink. And it was all as $11. So good deals here at Beef O'Brady's. Again, we're located here on US 301 in Stark, right across the street from Bradford High School. All right, let's take a look at this week's games coming up. We will start with Thursday night. This will be the only Thursday night game, apparently, ESPN Rice and Charlotte. Okay.
Remember when the Thursday night game was usually an ACC game or occasionally an SEC game,
right?
Or a Big 12, Big 10. Yeah, we get Rice and Charlotte this week.
Yeah, I know. Well, welcome. That's why the NFL's taken over Thursday nights too. But it's a Thursday night game in the NFL. It's Dolphins-Bills. So, yeah, Dolphins will probably get killed there. But, yeah.
That'll be over at halftime.
Yeah, probably. Rice and Charlotte, though, right? And then Friday night, we get Oklahoma State needs to bounce back from that Oregon pounding. They will host Tulsa. That's 1-2 at 7:30 on ESPN. And then, Tulsa, who's playing Rutgers? Tulsa can't be playing Rutgers and Oklahoma State.
No, it's Iowa.
Oh, Big Ten game on Friday night, 8 on Fox. Okay. 2-1 Iowa, 3-0 Rutgers. I was like, Tulsa's playing 2 teams. That's impressive.
Yeah, they're playing twice. You didn't know?
No, all right. And they're playing at Rutgers and at Oklahoma State at the same time. All right. Saturday, we start at noon on Fox. We mentioned Texas Tech and Utah, both teams 3-0. Arkansas trying to bounce back from the Ole Miss loss. They'll be at Memphis. who's 3-0. That'll be the noon ABC game. That's an interesting ball game on. And also you can check us out on Twitter. Sorry, I'm reading something here. Facebook, and we are on YouTube tonight as well. So sorry, I just got a notice about as you mentioned the socials. But Arkansas Memphis will play at noon on ABC. NBC, a Big Ten game at noon. Maryland 3-0, Wisconsin 2-1. Clemson, can they bounce back? Hosting Syracuse. It's a noon ESPN game. We mentioned the Iron Skillet or the what do they call it?
Iron Skillet. Yeah.
SMU and TCU. That'll be at noon on ESPN2. TCU 2-0, SMU 2-1. Louisville 2-0, hosting Bowling Green, who's 2-1. That's noon on the ACC network. Tennessee, they will try to rebound against Georgia. They probably should, hosting UAB. That'll be on SEC network at 12:45. This game might get ugly. 0-3 Oregon State.
Yeah, this one won't be. They call this the Civil War. There will be nothing civil about this game.
It's going to be bloodletting of Oregon State, right? Probably. But and the thing is, this isn't a Big Ten game either. This game used to be played like the last week of the season, regular season. But now, since it's a non-conference game, they play early. But that'll be 3:00 on the Big Ten network. This might be one of the games of the week. It is, in fact, Auburn and Oklahoma at 3:30 on ABC. Both teams unbeaten.
I think that's where SEC Nation is going to be.
Yeah, that's it. Both teams are ranked. Oklahoma's looking good with Mateer at quarterback. I heard Shane Matthews say he's the best quarterback in the nation. He's pretty good. But Oklahoma off to a 3-0 start, and Auburn will come in also off to a 3-0 start. Tulane and Ole Miss, two other 3-0 teams. They'll play at 3:30 on ESPN as Ole Miss goes back outside of the SEC after winning their first two conference games against Kentucky and Arkansas. Here's a big game, the Big Ten. It's the opener for both these teams. Michigan, 2-1, who lost to Oklahoma, and 3-0 Nebraska, 3:30 on CBS. Interesting ball game in the Big Ten.
Well, it's going to say a lot about the Cornhuskers. I don't think they've played anybody yet, so this will be a good test for them.
Yeah, they played Cincinnati. That was the toughest team they've played. And then the last 2 weeks, two teams that they've beaten up as well. This is interesting. I saw the line on this. Purdue 2-1, Notre Dame 0-2. That's the NBC game at 3:30. This will be at Notre Dame. Two rivals in the state of Indiana. Purdue, despite being 2-1, is like a 20-some point underdog. That's how bad Purdue has been. Even though Notre Dame's 0-2. So
no respect for Purdue.
No respect for Purdue. You're right about that. North Carolina, Bill Belichick, his team has won 2 straight since the loss to TCU. They beat Charlotte and then Richmond. So they will hit the road to UCF. That'll be a tough one for them. UCF 2-0 now under the second tenure of Scott Frost there. That'll be the Fox game at 3:30. NC State, they're still unbeaten at 3-0. They'll hit the road again to Duke, who's now 1-2. That'll be a 4:00 game on ESPN. Northern Illinois travels to Mississippi State, who will probably be 4-0 after this game, 4:15 on the SEC network.
And, as much as I dog Penn State and Ohio State, Mississippi State, I know they had a terrible – they were 2-10 last year, but they're going to be 4-0. They have not played anybody either.
Arizona State.
Yeah.
Who was ranked 12th. That's not a bad
one
win.
team so far, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're right. They beat Southern Miss week 1. So, yeah, that's true. And that was on the road. After that, they pretty much had some patsies. But West Virginia and Kansas, both teams 2-1. That's a Big 12 matchup, 6:00 on FS1. As you mentioned, South Carolina will hit the road to Missouri, trying to come off that Vanderbilt loss. Missouri 3-0, South Carolina 2-1, 7:00 on ESPN. Florida 1-2, Miami 3-0, 7:30. That'll be the ABC Saturday night game. And again, College Game Day will be in Miami for that. As you said, Corey, this might be the biggest game of the week. 7:30, this is a primetime game on NBC. I know I'll be paying attention to Florida, but I kind of want to pay attention to this game. Illinois and Indiana, both teams are 3-0.
I think I'll be definitely going back and forth between commercials and watching.
Florida gets too far behind. Yeah. But that should be another good Saturday night game on NBC. Vanderbilt, as you said, they host Georgia State. They'll probably be 4-0, 7:30 on ESPNU. Washington State, the Apple Cup, see again, because they're not in the same conference. They're playing very early in the season. They used to play the final week of the year.
And it's weird to see it on CBS, too.
That's true. It's a CBS Saturday night game. It's like Michigan, Nebraska being on CBS. It is strange. It is strange to see some of the games that CBS has. But Washington State at 7:30. And we've got this is also strange. An ACC matchup as Stanford travels to Virginia. Of course, the always traditional ACC matchup there. 1-2 Stanford, 2-1 Virginia. 7:30 on ACC Network. Arizona State 2-1 and Baylor 2-1. That'll be the Fox game at 7:30. That should be a good one. BYU unbeaten travels to East Carolina. It's an interesting matchup. 7:30 on ESPN2. BYU 2-0, East Carolina 2-1. Oh yeah, this is a game I heard about. The Big 12, Big 10 after, or Big 12, Big 10 after dark. Michigan State and USC. This is a 10 o'clock start in East Lansing. For the Michigan State fans, are very happy about that. It's 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central, and of course 8 o'clock on the West Coast. So that'll be both teams are 3-0, so that'll be a pretty good ball game.
Drink early and get coffee later.
Yeah, Michigan State fans are not happy about that, but I'm like, well, you've got West Coast teams in your league now.
All right.
And then, of course, speaking of that, you got Hawaii football after dark. Fresno State 3-1, Hawaii 3-1. Of course, the
If this game was on
traditional
TV, I
midnight-
would probably be watching that game too, but
what?
it's not on TV.
Oh, okay, really? Because every other game in the world's on TV. That's funny. You think they put that game on somewhere?
Yeah.
But so and Hawaii, remember they played that opener against Stanford.
Stanford on CBS. Yeah, I
that was
watched
like
that.
that was like a 7:30 Eastern start. So, all right, let's look at this week's games. I know we're a little bit behind tonight due to our technical difficulties, so we'll head to our picks. We got a lot of games to get to, and it's a little bit fortunate. We'll probably go a little bit past 10 o'clock tonight. No big deal there, really. But anyway, our high school show from 8 to 9 every week. College football from 9 to 10 here on North Florida Sports Talk Network. As again, we are live at B4 Brady's and Stark. All right, we'll start this week. First of all, let's give our an update on our results.
Yeah. Marty, you went 9-3 last week. I went 8-4.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now lead by one game.
Get close.
I'm 27-14.
Mhm.
You are 26-15.
Rallying from that awful first week of picks.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I had a 2-game lead. I'm down to now 1. So
well, again, he's got 16 games this week, so we'll
there
get
were
going.
so many good games that I was like, I'm just going to keep picking games.
Yeah, we'll start with this Big Ten game: Iowa and Rutgers. 2-1 Iowa, 3-0 Rutgers.
Friday night special. Are you going to go with Cliff Olson?
Well, you know what? Iowa not very impressive so far, as usual. Am I going to go with Cliff Olson? Yes, I'm going to go with Cliff Olson. State University, New Jersey. Rutgers will win this game at home in their Big Ten opener.
Not so fast. The Hawkeyes get it done. Their
On the
coach
road,
is coming off the most wins in Big Ten history. I think Coach
Right.
got it last week.
Oh,
so
Kirk Ferentz? Oh, right. That's right.
he became the winningest coach in Big Ten history last week. So
Yeah. He's been there 26 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So Iowa goes into, was that Camden, New Jersey? I think.
Piscataway.
Piscataway.
Yeah,
And comes out with a victory.
that's right. All right, Texas Tech and Utah, 3-0, 3-0. Well, I really like Utah. I always like the way Utah plays. I like Kyle Whittingham. Texas Tech's off to a good start. Give me the Utes at home to win this game. This will be a noon Saturday game. By the way, that'll be a 10 a.m. Mountain Time start in Utah since it's a noon.
Yeah, on Fox, which is weird because normally Fox has been running Big Ten games.
Yeah.
So it's going to be weird to see this kind of game on there because
And then
they
they'll-
always run Big Ten.
and then they're going to run North Carolina and UCF at 3:30.
Yeah.
And then is there a night game? Oh,
They must
no.
have lost the pecking order
Yeah,
because, it rotates every week.
right. Anyway,
I'm going with the Utes also.
Arizona State Baylor is their Saturday night game. Yeah.
I believe in the Utes.
Okay. Arkansas at Memphis. Razorbacks, bacon bits, as you say, 2-1. Memphis 3-0. Arkansas was close. They had a real shot to beat Ole Miss. Memphis is 3-0, but who's Memphis played? I'm gonna go with Arkansas on the road. The bacon bits to win this game in the Liberty Bowl against the Memphis Tigers.
I'm high on the bacon bits, and they proved it to me last week with a really competitive game against Ole Miss. Give me the Hogs.
All right, we'll take the Hogs. I'll both take the Hogs there. Maryland 3-0 at Wisconsin 2-1. I have no idea. Big Ten opener. Who's Maryland been playing? Yeah. I don't trust Wisconsin, but in this game at Camp Randall, I'll go with the Badgers to win this one.
Okay. I'm taking Maryland.
Okay. I mean, I'm probably gonna.
Maryland's been
regret taking Wisconsin.
pretty good the last couple of years, and
Yeah.
I want to say it's Coach Loxley has been the coach over
Mike
there.
Loxley, yeah. Yeah, they have been pretty good at times. It seems to me that that's a tough place to go. Wisconsin was on the road. Yeah, I agree with you. But all right, Syracuse and Clemson. Clemson trying to bounce back. I don't see any way how Clemson will not bounce back in this game at home. Syracuse, honestly, has beaten Colgate and UConn, and they lost big to Tennessee. I think Clemson will rebound and win this game in Death Valley.
You don't believe in the Qs?
No, they haven't impressed me this year. Also, I expect Clemson will bounce back after that loss.
Yeah, Clemson's playing at home, which is a tough place to play.
Yeah.
I think Clemson definitely bounces back here.
Yep. So we both have Clemson in that one. Meanwhile, the SMU, the Iron Skillet Bowl, SMU 2-1, TCU 2-0. The battle of Dallas against the battle of Fort Worth, and I tell you, TCU. I always like Sonny Dykes' team here. So I'm going to take the Horned Frogs to win this one at home over SMU. I'll take TCU.
I'm going to go opposite way. I'm going to go SMU to win this game.
Okay. SMU, that was a good team last year.
I think I picked them to possibly play in the ACC championship game.
Yeah, and they lost.
They got to win
their opener. So yeah, they got up to they lost their first game this season, but yeah, so yeah, that'll be a good ball game. Auburn and Oklahoma, both teams 3-0, an undefeated matchup in the SEC. Yeah, I believe in Oklahoma. Honestly, I think this is a good team. This quarterback, Lapeer, is really good. I'm going to go with the Sooners again to win this game at home. Auburn's 3-0, but who is Auburn beaten? They beat Baylor on the road, but that's going to be their toughest test at this point.
I want to pick Auburn.
Do you?
I was told weeks ago that Auburn is one of the teams to look out for in the SEC, but they're playing at Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's playing really well right now.
I heard both these teams, Oklahoma and Auburn, were expected to be better this year, but yeah.
I got to go with Oklahoma to win this game.
Okay, so we'll both have the Sooners in that one. Then we have the Green Wave of Tulane, 3-0 at Ole Miss, 3-0. I'm not getting off the Lane Kiffin bandwagon now. They've beaten Arkansas, they've beaten Kentucky. I'll take the Rebels to go to 4-0. Tulane's been a pretty good program, but I like Ole Miss at home.
I can't disagree with you. I got to go with the Rebels in that game.
Yeah, the way they're playing right now. This is going to be an interesting one. Is Nebraska back? This will be the first chance to see it. They're 3-0. They host 2-1 Michigan in the Big Ten opener for both these teams.
Michigan's only loss was to Oklahoma a couple weeks ago.
Oklahoma and Michigan. I mean, that's the best team they've played to this point. They're still rolling with the interim coach. Ron Moore is out, but I don't even know if that really affects them. And I wasn't that impressed with Nebraska against Cincinnati either. I know this game's in Lincoln, but I actually like Michigan to win this game on the road.
Okay, I'm going with Nebraska.
Are you? All right. Going with Nebraska there. Okay. And why?
People have been saying that they're back.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah. And I did see the Cincinnati game. They did play really well in that game.
It was a close game. Yeah,
came
you're
from
right.
behind to win that game.
But Michigan, I don't know. As good as Michigan's been lately, we'll see. And again, we'll see how Bryce Underwood plays on the road against Nebraska. North Carolina at UCF. All I can see is TCU scoring again against North Carolina, and it's hard to go into the bounce house and win. I can't believe that's the name of that place, but Scott Frost team is 2-0. I'll take the Golden Knights at home to win this game and go to 3-0.
I want to pick Belichick, but yeah, I got to agree with you here.
I picked him against TCU. They got blown out of the stadium, and I just don't know. I mean, beating Charlotte and Richmond doesn't show me much either, but yeah. All right, we both have UCF. South Carolina at Missouri. I mean, I guess a lot of this depends on the Norris Sellers if he's going to play for South Carolina. That being said, they've kind of been struggling anyway for the first few weeks of the season. Missouri has been rolling, albeit against a couple of teams that are down. But I like Missouri at home to win this game Saturday night and go to 4-0.
I hope I'm wrong. I would love for South Carolina to win this game, and I hope Sellers comes back. But the way Missouri's been playing, I realize they have, other than Kansas, they really haven't played nobody. But they've been averaging like 60 points a game.
Right.
That offense is on fire right now.
It is.
If no Sellers, give me Missouri.
Well, we're not going to know. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if Sellers comes back, you can change your pick.
Right.
I guess. All right. Also Saturday night, Florida, Miami. I don't really need to spend a lot of time on this one. Honestly, Miami's going to win this game. I mean, Carson Beck is playing the best I've seen him. I didn't see him play this well at Georgia. They've been rolling teams. They beat after Notre Dame. No problem with USF. The Gators just it's a mess. I mean, I don't see how they're going to win this game. I mean, they could get some turnovers and win, but right now, the way the quarterback's playing, I just don't see it. You're going Miami as well.
Well, what's going to happen is Florida's going to have at least 2 or 3 touchdowns called back. You know, but they're going to keep that trend going.
Happens every week. Yeah.
And, you know, Miami, this could be a track meet, sort of, but I think Miami pulls away. Probably wins by 13 more points.
Philip Crutchfield continues to show anti-Billy Napier propaganda.
All right.
This one is cooked. Billy Napier needs a miracle. Yes, he does. He needs a miracle. Not sure he's going to get it this week against the number 4 Miami Hurricanes. So we'll take Miami. All right, Saturday night as well. Illinois, Indiana, Big Ten battle here. I like Illinois, honestly. I really like the way they're playing. Indiana is 3-0, but who has Indiana beaten to this point? I like Illinois. I know it's not at Indiana, but I'll take the Illini to win this game.
I was going to go with Illinois, too, before you even said that.
Yeah, okay. The Apple Cup, Washington at Washington State. I honestly don't know a lot about these teams this year. Haven't had a chance to see either of them, really. But knowing these teams, I'll take Washington to win that game.
You're reading my mind.
Yeah,
I was going to pick Washington, too.
yeah. Arizona State and Baylor Saturday night. This is an interesting game, too, because Baylor lost to Auburn week 1. Arizona State lost to Mississippi State. They both lost to SEC teams, but both were close games. Baylor's at home here. This time I'm going to go with the Baylor Bears to win this game at home.
We're on the same telepathy path here. I'm going
Wow.
Baylor.
Okay.
Especially the way Baylor played against Auburn.
Right. And finally, Michigan State and
2 more games.
Oh, there's 2 more. Sorry, there's another page here. Oh, we've got one more after that. Okay, Michigan State and USC. Michigan State's 3-0, but again, who have they beaten? Although USC hasn't exactly beaten anybody either, but it's always tough to go out west. Again, this is 11 o'clock Eastern start. Michigan State might be asleep for this game. I know their fans are going to be. I'm going to take the Trojans to win at home. And
I saw Michigan State play.
well, they
at
beat
home.
Boston College.
Yeah, it was that game. They came back to win that game.
Yeah.
Young quarterback, going on the road in a hostile, somewhat hostile environment.
Yeah. It's a long trip.
Yeah, it's a long trip.
It's not a trip that Michigan State's made.
I'm going with Southern Cal in that game.
Yeah. All right, last game, West Virginia and Kansas. Interesting you put this on here. West Virginia come off the win over Pitt. Kansas lost to Missouri. They rallied with a win. This is a tough one. This is one.
Take me home to a place where I belong.
Are you telling me who you're picking here, or are you just going with that to make me want to take West Virginia? You know what? Give me the Jayhawks. No, Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
I was trying to trick you into picking West Virginia.
It didn't work.
I like Kansas quarterback. He's been there about 10 years.
That's true.
Can't go against the Jayhawks in that one.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got some differences there. Lots of games to get to. We'll look at that next week. All right. We're a little bit past 10. So again, we apologize for that. But again, we had some technical difficulties. Hopefully we'll get everything straightened out for next week. Next week, we hope to have a couple of guests. We'll have Kevin Brockway, the Gainesville Sun, here on the College Football Show to talk about the Florida and look back at the Florida-Miami games. He covers Gator football. Meanwhile, we will also have our high school football report next week, 8 to 9 here on North Florida Sports Talk. Thanks to B4 Brady's and Stark. Thanks to Philip Crutchfield, who helped us out during the show, too, tonight. I'm Marty Pallman. He's Corey Davis. And we'll talk to you again next Wednesday night again for the College Football Gridiron Report on the North Florida Sports Talk Network. Good night, and have a good weekend. Enjoy the games.